Hello everybody, Nathan Wolf here, and welcome to Resident Evil 1, 1996, a retrospective review. Today is going to be a different video from usual. I'm going to be, just talking about the game and doing a review on it. And I'm going to be doing this type of content for probably just Resident Evil, maybe some other games. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I'm not going to explain why, but content's probably going to be running low soon, so I'm going to have to choose content, and I just thought, because I love Resident Evil so much, I thought, why not make a little series, basically just doing a review, sort of retrospective, and yeah, it's a little different from what I usually do, but I think it's just something that is cool, and something I've always wanted to do for a little while now. We're going to do a little deep dive into the world of survival horror. Starting with the story, we're going to do the story, characters, and gameplay. I'm not going to go into full detail about this game. It's just basically just a quick little review. And keep in mind that I will have an unbiased opinion because I never grew up with this game. I'm only 16 years old, so I have no choice but have an unbiased opinion. And don't get me wrong, I love this game. And it's absolutely just amazing, and there's so many things I love about it. Anyway, starting with the story, in 1998, we meet a group of members from a team called STARS who works at the RPD station, or the Raccoon City Police Department. They came to the woods in search for a helicopter that crashed, and little do they know, they find something a bit terrifying. One of the men finding the hand with the gun soon gets attacked by a dog, which startles the team, and they see the horrifying monster chasing after them. After a couple of shots were fired, they try to make haste to a helicopter that was supposed to help pick them up, which, the man, I guess was too scared to pick them up, but he left them alone, and after monsters tried to attack them, aka the dogs, they had to make a haste to a mysterious mansion that was located in the woods.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion! Stop it! Don't open that door!
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this.
A dining room.
So while Barry's investigating the blood on the floor, hoping that's not Chris's blood, Jill Valentine makes her way to the next door to see what's behind it. And after a slow animation, she makes her way into a creepy little hallway. Both of the doors are all locked, or at least all three doors. I have to make my way here. One of the most iconic scenes in all video game history, to meet our first enemy, the zombie. Now, the zombies in this game, I mean, they're terrifying, but they're also not that smart either. Did I mention that you shouldn't want to get bit by them? Here, this is where the game finally opens up, and Jill, their trusted lockpick, can finally explore the mansion and look for any sorts of clues as to what's going on around here. Maybe find Wesker and Chris. We aren't done with the story, however. We know that the mansion does have a whole big history with, experiments going on down here, which explains why these monsters even exist in the first place. We know that a big secret virus leaked and infected everyone who was in the mansion, explaining where all these zombies come from. Now, the story, I think the story's alright. It's a pretty cool story when you take into account just, I mean, it's a really simple, you know, it's not hard to understand, and it's really cool. I think it's really funny. I think it's just cool in general. It's nothing bad, nothing special either. But I think it's just cool, and I mean, I'm not really too big into the story as much as I am just playing it. And I think that's how old classic Resident Evil games are. I'm just naturally more invested into the story overall. With that in mind, I guess it's time to talk about, you know, just things like the area. One thing I love about the mansion is just how homey it feels. You know, you get the creepy 2D wallpapers in the back, or whatever, pictures basically. It's very, very, very homey and familiar, and I think one of the things I love about the original is just how, you know, it kind of just doesn't feel like a creepy, scary mansion. This mansion doesn't really feel too scary, and I don't know, I think it's just because of the way it was designed. It creates such a beautiful and homey atmosphere that, I don't know, I could just stay here for hours and just explore and just really have a great time. And I think the music here is also, you know, some of the best in Resident Evil. The music here you get, it's just really impactful, and I don't know, I really just appreciate all the little things and all the things that it took to build this game. It always makes me wonder, just like, I watch videos on how the game was made, and it's just, I still just admire just how beautiful it is. You know, all the different rooms and just so many unique areas with music that really just fits the atmosphere perfectly, and it builds suspense, you know, constant suspense in what's next. From a gameplay perspective, I think the gameplay is fine. Perfectly fine, actually. The tank controls are obviously a bit rough down the edges with the sort of robotic movement at times. You can't really move smoothly. But that is, I mean, I've seen the improvement in RE2 when I first played that, which I know we're doing a review on RE1. The movement, I mean, it's for the first game. I can't blame Capcom for that. I think for what it is, it does a great job doing, you know, what it's trying to accomplish. And I think it accomplishes it perfectly. That being said, I also just love how good it feels to shoot zombies in this game, or really any old Resident Evil game. It's perfect. I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just a feeling of, like, you feel like you're really doing damage to these zombies by the way they react. You know, the little pushback they get. That nice little feedback is what makes playing these games also a lot more fun, and when you just, I don't know, it just feels good to kill the zombies. Not only that, but one of my favorite parts about this game is just the survival horror aspect. I'm a much more bigger survival horror fan than action horror, so I have more, not bias, but more favoritism towards the originals and any other survival horror Resident Evil game after. I think this game I think the premise of this game works perfectly fine. You know, the whole resource management, saving your ammo, it's all just amazing. It really does a great job. One thing that I love about this game is the many funny and iconic lines.
Hey, what's going on?
You know, you just constantly get a good laugh out
Jill?
of it.
Is that you, Jill?
One of my favorite
What
things
happened?
is just,
Harry?
yeah,
Help me,
literally just
please.
the funny,
The
bad
door won't
voice
open.
acting. I don't know if it was intentional or
Stay
not,
away from the
but
door, Jill.
it's really
I'm gonna
just
kick this door
amazing
down.
how good this game is at making you laugh when you're supposed to be scared.
This way!
And this cutscene right here gives us one of the funniest iconic lines of all time.
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
As I said, this game has a way of making you laugh at some of the bad voice acting. Whether intentional or not intentional, it does such a great job at it. And, you know, just simply just roaming around this mansion, it just feels so good. You just can't get enough of it. really just can't get enough of the whole, like, just the atmosphere in the area, the beautiful, well-lit design areas. As I said before, I don't like this game. Doesn't really give off of whole horror. I mean, it is horror for real, but even still, it still feels way too bright to really feel the horror aspect of this game. But I guess back in 1996, playing this as a kid, it's not really something I really thought about. As you can see in this my Jill gameplay, I think honestly, like, I think the Jill and Chris scenarios, or not scenario, but campaigns are really good. I mean, I think they're different. I was just recently trying to do a Chris playthrough until I came up with the idea to do this type of video. So honestly, I already feel like Jill's different because she has lockpicks. She can go to certain areas way quicker than Chris. And Chris obviously has the difference of, you know, less inventory management, but I think he does have more health, which is something, a little detail I do appreciate, that how you can really feel the difference in how Jill and Chris play. You know, you really feel it. And I think as easy as Jill is when playing Resident Evil 1, regardless of the OG or remake, I think one of my favorite things about them is the fact that, or actually, one of my favorite things about Chris, and how Chris, in my opinion, makes the game better, because what Chris does, because he has less inventory management, you're going to have to be constantly resourcing your inventory all the freaking time, and many bad, you know, pickups can lead to many trips back to the save room, which can also lead to you getting hurt even more, which wastes even more resources than you would like. And I honestly think Chris having less inventory space is actually a genius idea, because it makes you really think about, you know, your decisions and what to pick up, what not to pick up, what to keep, and what not to keep. And I think it just does that perfectly. I sort of want to talk a little bit more about the design of the mansion. As I said, the design before, it's very beautiful, it's very amazing. Every single room feels like it has its own sort of identity. And you know, you never see the same stuff. Like, some areas are really just unique to just that area, and I really do appreciate that. It never, you know, you always, I don't know how to explain it, but every single room has its own character. You know, it's not the same thing. So I really do appreciate how just unique each and every one can be, and memorable in its own ways. And I think that just heightens the mansion even more. And of course, the classic double stair, or not double stair, I'm thinking of another game. Classic, you know, second floor, bottom floor design, you know, the east side, the west side, two different places you can go, or sides of the mansion you can go, and they both sort of interconnect because you'll be needing to go to both sides, you know, to solve things that are only on the other side. And I just think that just makes it even better, man. And there's just something I admire about Resident Evil 1. Like, it's just, there's something about this game. Like, even all the way back in 1996, like, man, it's just something so special about it. And I think Resident Evil 1, regardless of which version you're playing, is literally the ultimate way to play Resident Evil. Or at least the definition of survival horror, and the definition of Resident Evil in general. With Resident Evil 1, they nailed it perfectly. And I don't think there will be any other Resident Evil game that can really top that. Specifically because, you know, the series moves on, our characters get stronger, they get older, and, you know, things change. Ethan Winters was a good addition, though. Not that it really matters right now, since we're now in that game. We'll get to that eventually. Also, real quick about the music. As I noted before, the music in this game is absolutely amazing. And as the track that's playing right now, it's so beautiful, man. I really love it so much. They really, like, I just can't explain just how good Capcom is at making their games atmospheric, especially the classical ones, where you just have music playing everywhere you go. Like, I don't know. It just does something. It just does something to you. It's super powerful, and they know it too. They know what to do when it comes to these games. Everything that I just talked about. Now, of course, I haven't even gotten to the other areas of the game. I guess say, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the other areas of the game are forgettable, because they're not. They're very memorable, and I think those areas are very good. Of course, the mansion is on a whole different level, but that's kind of an unfair comparison. But there's so many things I just want to talk about with this game. Like, boss fights, for example. The boss fights in this game are cool. So let's say just your simple Resident Evil boss fights. It's nothing too crazy. Yawn is pretty cool. Black Tiger is pretty cool. The Tyrant's also very cool too. Very well designed characters, which is really. We can talk about the areas that are sort of outside the mansion, which is the sort of courtyard area, whatever you want to call that. That area is cool. It definitely helps. In that fresh air feeling. You just see it's beautiful. I love it. You finally get that fresh air you've been looking for the whole time, and it just does a lot. It does a lot for it. And after getting the crank, you're gonna make your way all the way over to the I forgot. I don't know what. I never know what this place is called. It's the dormitory or whatever. This place is cool. I kind of always thought of it as like a cabin of sorts. Very short area. That's a pretty cool underground water tank with sharks and that pretty cool. It's nothing too crazy, but it is cool just thinking about it. You obviously go into a room where you meet the spiders for the first time, which they're cool, pretty cool enemies. I mean, I have arachnophobia, but so I don't like going in there, but it's pretty cool. Pretty soon you make your way back to the mansion after getting a 100 key after beating the 42 boss fight, which it's a pretty cool boss fight. So you just run around, dodging and shooting. Nothing too special, but cool boss fight. Eventually make your way back to the mansion, get the battery for the elevator so you can use the crank to pull the water down and go into the real underground sort of mines, I guess. And yeah, the mines are pretty cool. Nothing really going on in there. I mean, this is like late game stuff, so I don't expect the mines to be super cool or anything. I mean, I don't think they sort of need to be. I mean, I think they are what they are, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It doesn't need to be. Once you finally make your way to the lab, however, I would say Resident Evil 1's lab is the lab that I think is the sort of coolest lab. I don't know what it is about it. It's really cool, and I don't even really do lab areas in Resident Evil. I mean, there's literally a whole video that talks about why the end of Resident Evil, or of any Resident Evil game, is like sort of just drops down. I think that's an exception for this game. I honestly think the lab is really cool, design. It creates a very it creates a very good ending for the game too. Once you finally kill the tyrant, it's really amazing. I'm sort of running out of things to talk about since this wasn't going to be a long review, and this isn't like some sort of deep dive. I'm sort of just expressing my appreciation for this game and all the things that sort of come with it. Of course, with Resident Evil, there's like millions of things to talk about. But I can't, when you're recording a video or anything like that, I just can't really go into every minute detail. I'm sort of just saying things at face value or surface level. So you're just gonna have to take what I say. Just take it away. Overall, I think this game, coming out in 1996, does its job absolutely well. It's really, it's amazing. It's amazing. There's so many things to love about this game. whether it be the design, the funny character lines, and just, the survival horror, which that's my favorite part. Survival horror. I can't get enough of it, man. Like, I would literally talk all day about just how good the survival horror aspect of this game is, which is literally the whole game, but like it just does it so perfectly, and I just don't think any other game after Resident Evil 1 really did it on that same level. I would say RE2 did it well, and I loved the RPG, but like I said, we're not on that game yet. We'll be pretty soon though. RE3 did it pretty good as well. I love how it combined it with the outside Raccoon City. Alright, I think I'm getting way too ahead of myself here. Back to Resident Evil 1. Anyway, there's so many things I love about this game. The gameplay is absolutely amazing. And to think that it's so fluid, and I know the movement is a little wacky. At the same time, I don't think that should I don't think that's a reason to not give this game a try. I would definitely recommend this to anyone. And even like I said before, I'm a young dude. I haven't grew up with this game, so I don't know what it's like to have played this game all the way back then. I'm sure it was amazing, and I can see why it would be amazing. I mean, just look at everything that's here, man. It's just so amazing, like how immersive a 1996 game can be, and the atmosphere definitely does help with that. Which, of course, Capcom is very good at that. They're very, very good when it comes to atmospheric music. It just makes the world so much more immersive, even if the graphics don't look as good. Which, to me, let me say a little fun fact about me. I love old graphics in video games. I think they're somehow very immersive, even though they're old graphics. That's something that never really bothered me. I mean, I just love it. I love old graphics. And I think that's the reason why I feel the way I feel about this game. Saying that the mansion doesn't feel scary, but it feels like I'm at home. Or at least a place that is super familiar that I can be comfortable with. Ignoring all the zombies, dogs, and whatever, hunters. I get this sort of at home feeling that I just wouldn't get if it were any other way. Like the way it is in a remake, or, where it's purposely made to be scary. Overall, I would give this game like 9.5, 10 out of 10. I mean, it's really perfect in my opinion. I don't see anything wrong with Resident Evil, regardless if it's the original or the remake. There's nothing wrong with it. Absolutely not, in my opinion. Or at least that I remember. The only thing I could get flack for is... I really can't even think of a reason. Probably movement? But then again, that's not even really something to give it flack for, considering that if you just get good with it, it's not really a problem at all. Like, seriously, you really just don't... There's really nothing wrong with this game. I cannot find a single flaw in this game. And no, the voice acting does not count as a flaw. It's part of the game's sort of hominess to it. So it's part of what makes the game just funny. I love the comedic value of this game, even though I don't think it was supposed to be funny at all. But regardless, that's one of the biggest parts of this game. And I would never put that on Capcom for that. I'm starting to ramble, but that's kind of what this video was supposed to be. Just a little rant. Not a rant. A little yap session, just talking about my love for this game. And I haven't even played it that much. I was doing a Chris playthrough. I haven't really gotten far yet. But the game does feel short and length, which is not a problem to me. Short and sweet, I'd say. Like, I'm already, I played the game for 30 minutes and I already made it, or I'm about to make it to the courtyard section. So yeah, this game does move by pretty quick. I guess that's why it has a lot of replayability, because you get to remember everything, you get better at it, and that's how you just progress. You just get better and better. Overall, I know I keep repeating myself here, Probably gonna wrap this little review up. Just a little yap session about what I love about this game. I know it isn't that big or as well detailed as you might expect for a Resident Evil review. Like I said, when I talk about these games, I'm mostly just gonna talk about them from a surface level and not sort of like a deep dive. Which, I mean, I think that's fine. I don't think I really need to do a deep dive to sort of say what I love about the game. Like, I can say what I love about this game in like an email. So there's really no need to go too deep into what I love. Because I just love it in general. Yeah. I guess that's probably it for what I have to say about Resident Evil. It's an absolute masterpiece, classic, that no matter what, can never be forgotten about. It should always be remembered as the game that coined the term survival horror. And I can't wait to talk about its remake, which kept everything the same and added more as an expansion to the world that created survival horror. I can't wait to see you there. It's Nathan Wolf here. Peace out.